still cut off.
Hush. Hush.
This is real life right here. Hey y'all, I am Shelby, the Fit Foodie Farmer, and this blob over here to the sides, Kurt, you're totally cut off.
Oh, there we go.
It has been a skinny minute since I have attempted to do a YouTube video. I hope that I will actually edit this and post it, so we'll see how that goes. I really need to raise that up because you're...
Do I need to sit down?
Yeah.
There we go.
So, a lot has been going on around here. And maybe we'll do a YouTube to kind of update you on everything. But right now it is January 12th, the day after this big guy's birthday. And I'm going to plant some onion seeds. Now, I'm going to be quite honest. I have been successful growing onions from seed. And when I say successful, like they sprouted and then they never really turned into a good onion bulb. So I'm kind of learning this alongside y'all if y'all are doing this too, and do not judge my robe on top of my hoodie. It is very, very cold in here, and I stay cold all the time. So
it's like 68 degrees in here.
it was 65 before we turned that on. We're kind of living the Amish life right now. Before it got turned on.
It is 69 degrees.
He's trying to prove me wrong. Anyway, so I'm going to get started on this. I don't want this video to be too long. But I'm going to tell you kind of how I'm going to do things. But it is kind of the middle of January, and that's about when we need to start planting our onion seeds. Now, these are going to be seeds, not sets, and I'll show you my seed setup here in just a minute. But sets are a little bit different because they're already grown out to like a small bulb. These are the little itsy teeny seeds. So I need to start these a good, I don't know how long is it? I've got my planner over there, 12 weeks maybe before our last frost, which is usually around mid-April. I think it's April 17th this year is our last frost. So I'm starting these really, really early, and hopefully we'll get nice big bulbs of onions come harvest time. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer and tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing some of these things. I've got a big bowl of soil that we got from, I think we got it from Lowe's last night. I am trying, fingers crossed, to do kind of more no-till, more of an organic garden this year. And we always try to practice that on our homestead, but this year I'm going to try to really be cognizant of the stuff I use, even my seed starting mix. Now, this is not really a seed starting mix. I don't even know. I think it's just maybe compost. So we'll see how this goes. This might be a total disaster, but I did pick out some large pieces, and this has been outside, and I'm all wrapped up in my robe, so I'm cold-natured. So what I'm actually going to do is I have boiled some water, and I'm actually going to pour it over top of the soil to kind of, I guess, kill off anything, because this is going to be in the house, maybe like disinfect, sort of, sanitize, whatever you want to call it. But mostly because I don't want to stick my hands in this cold soil because it is very cold. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this over so hopefully you can see, and I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and moist before I get started. What? Putting them in these. I know that that's plastic and that's not too environmentally friendly, but they are hard plastic, and I've got several years out of these. But you really want to watch for stuff like this. I do pick out everything like that to keep the soil as fine as possible. You don't have to start with a seed starting mix. It is a good idea. This right here is kind of the consistency that I got now, and it's kind of forming a ball just from the water that I've added. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little cups and I'm going to fill them up But I'm not going to fill them all the way up because I am going to put the seeds in. So I'm going to fill them, you know, about yay high. That's real accurate measurements right there. And I really don't know how many I'm going to do. I know I've got 2 different bulbed onions. And then I've got 1 leek and some bunching onions for him. So I don't really know how many this is going to make. But make sure that you label them, because if you're anything like me and you say, I remember that, you won't, unless you're just like super awesome, and I'm just not, because I never remember what I have put where. So I'm just filling these up, and I only got 6 containers here, and we'll see how far that takes us. I feel like y'all can't see the process that I'm doing now that it's been kind of moved up. Another reason why YouTube is so lovely and fun. It's kind of what we're working with. All right, so this is how I keep my seeds. Ignore the gourds on there. I labeled this several years ago, but all of these they're photo boxes, but all of these little boxes fit in this big huge box right here, and I need to redo them, but I can fit all of my vegetable seeds in that big box, and then I've got another one for flowers. So I've already went through here and kind of made notes of everything that I really wanted to plant and get to this year. So I tried to do like a year's worth of food, and so I looked up online of just some averages of what per person each crop needed, and so I'm halfway following that, halfway not, so we'll see how it works. But I've got on here 30 onions and a few of the others, so I've got, take that off, I've actually got some small onions, and a lot of these came from M.I. Gardner. I've got one, the Texas Early Granos came from Baker Creek. I use Botanical Interest. All of those are pretty decent seed companies that I've had pretty decent success with. Those are the bunching onions that I have. I've got some leeks and a burgundy onion. Now I have no idea how I'm actually going to use these, but I've seen a couple recipes, and so I thought I would try them. I've got some labels here. Now these, again, I know they're plastic. They're not really, what's the word I'm looking for, sustainable, but I do try to use these from year to year. So you can see I've already got stuff written on one side, but I'm going to write on the other. So these are super duper important. You don't have to use these type labels. You could use, I seen Rachel from that 1870s homestead use like a plastic knife the other day to label hers. So I mean, use what you've got. If you've got something spare, something laying around, use that. This right here is my most hated part of all of seed starting and gardening. I hate making labels, and that's why most of the time don't, and end up forgetting what it is, messing everything up. That's what I call them. They are my mystery plants, and we'll just figure out what they are down the road.
That's the real Christmas in July.
That is Christmas in July. You are right, babe. Start out with my leeks, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle all these seeds over the top and kind of see where we end up. But here is what an onion and a leek seed usually looks like. They're little teeny and black seeds, so they're kind of hard to see against the soil, so we're just gonna do our best. thing that I think probably most of you know, but just in case you don't, most seed packets come with a lot of information on the back that tells you like how deep to plant, if it needs full sun, if it's cold tolerant, that kind of stuff. It actually will tell when you need to start it by your frost date, and that's really easy to find. I just go on the Old Farmer's Almanac, and I'll try to put a link in the description too, of how I find mine. You just type in your zip code, and depending on where you live, will give you your first and your last frost date for where you live. So that's how I found out mine. All you do is get a calendar and count back 8 to 10 weeks, and I've got that, which I can take a picture of and maybe put a little clip up of my calendar that I've got. And so I've got all of these in except for this lone one right here, doesn't have anything in it. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take what's left of my soil right here and crumble it over the top, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so the camera keeps cutting off, so I'm going to try to make this outro super quick. I have got 5 little containers of onions, and I went ahead, it might be a little early, but I went ahead and done a parsley because I figured if anything, I can keep that in the house for an herb that likes cool weather. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that y'all are starting to start some of your cold stuff like onions if you live kind of in a climate like I do. But I'm going to go probably sprinkle a little bit more water on just the tops of these, and then I think I'm going to just leave them off the heat mats and just set them in the house somewhere that's kind of cool and see where we're at in a few weeks. So I'm going to leave you with that, but I hope y'all have a wonderful growing season, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.